who in the Western rationalist societies have the concept of citizenship, and we're all citizens, often seen as a birthright in European nations because of both constitutional protections to the individuals, both citizens and non-citizens, because of and because of national heritage. Yeah, so if you're an American, for instance, you could be an American who was a non-citizen who then swore allegiance to the Constitution, became a citizen. Your children would not necessarily have to swear allegiance to the Constitution if they change the law over there, but they would have American citizenship by birthright, by the heritage that you've given to them. That's what I'm trying to talk about. So, is there... sorry. So in the Western rationalist societies, the concept of citizenship, often seen as a birthright in European nations because of constitutional protections to all individuals, both citizens and non-citizens, because of national heritage, is there to thus serve the national society and regulate individuals who act outside the norms of society or who try to subvert any individual's right to assert their right to life. And that's why we have the law against murder. To accept the right to life, to accept the liberties, i.e. extra privileges, conventions and non-natural rights such as the human rights, i.e. Right to family life, which has come up recently in the news. And is that a liberty or is that a right? There's a debate about that. The law also contains the idea of when it is legal, what a reasonable person would do to take life if that person is a threat to you, to your life or the others or others in self-defense, to prevent a crime or in the conditions of war, i.e. a situation where there are laws that govern the conduct of conflicts in order to reduce as much as possible abuses to unarmed soldiers, captured soldiers, non-combatants, and the behaviour of non-combatants towards occupational forces, i.e. the occupational forces are administering their laws on another state's citizens. The rules of war mean that only those recognised armed forces of either nation state can engage in fighting. Non-combatants must not, unless their natural rights are being stopped from being asserted by illegal actions of any recognised armed force. This is why partisans, terrorists, crime factions, etc., which are not armed forces of a community but a non-nation state actor or actors, or non-combatants who pick up arms and engage in sabotage or assassinations, are not protected under the Geneva Convention. This is both to protect the innocent from reprisals by legitimately recognised armed forces of any nation state or rival partisan group as non-state actors who might use military methods against the rules of war, as well as coercion of innocent individuals and innocent populations. So that was capsulated, so that caption ends. So how can a person who in the article attacks the article's basis of attack on logic and reason by saying it is about capabilities, thereby dividing human beings by ability as who can be killed and who cannot, i.e. the first people totalitarian suicidal memes attack, well, I mean those people who use those as tools for an end result, are those people who have no voice, i.e. the disabled, old or young. The article claims, though, in an attempt to associate violence with those who are against infanticide as the ones who want genocide. This is illogical because it is logical to oppose ideas which are held equally strongly by the same person, i.e. doublethink. So the irrationality shows itself by its own confusion. In caption. So who is incapable of violence of any kind, be an aggressor or be not considered worthy of protection? You know, I'm talking in that sense about the person who is, you know, most vulnerable. Say they're disabled, or they're a newborn baby, or anything else, or an injured soldier from Iraq. Is it because of is it their capabilities as a person who define their personhood and their humanity? The article is saying, no, the people who are least capable, you know, they have the least rights. I mean, that doesn't make sense to me, you know. So usually we say only that people who are picking up arms or who are running down the street trying to hurting people, or worse, you know, are the ones who are allowed to be stopped by force. What could be less threatening than a young child or a newborn baby? And that's why their article on infanticide is so disturbing to me. But I'm going to not get emotional about it, and I'm going to carry on with in the logical way of doing things. So I think this is the best way to solve this problem posed by their article. As Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus said, and here a paraphrase and add to their analysis: the irrational and savage among us respect the tyrannical application of force to dominate all others without empathy for what is being done or what is done to themselves by a tyrant. They call for a celebration of their own victimization, as long as others that they hate are also destroyed. Now this is where I interject. It is referencing the idea of making others blind as well as yourself, because you gain pleasure from their pain, because your only sense of yourself is due to your opposition to another person or person who is your enemy. You know, so I'm adding on to Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus's analysis of the people who are sort of are base, irrational, and I mean there are some people who are sociopaths. They get pleasure from other people's pain, and that's what I'm driving at here. That is what the rationality of the law is about, from my reading of the law, is to protect people from that kind of those kind of people. You know, rational citizens from irrational sociopaths. Now, I'm going to talk here about the law. Lawyers, for good reason, are not there to project their morality or any others onto their client because of their commercial relationship with the client. All the decisions, or project their morality or anyone else's onto the decisions of the courts. Courts in common law may create new precedents in the legal system